Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh.
Podcast New York.
What's up, Dueling Decades? This is Wax. Peace to all you guys, and thanks for having me on the show. Will it be the 90s or the 80s? Beanie Babies or Crack Babies? Will it be Nirvana or Madonna? Maybe Britney, maybe Whitney. Do you like new metal or new wave? Dave Grohl or Super Dave? I don't know. But now the battle begins. Dueling Decades. Let's see who wins.
Dueling Decades. All new Dueling Decades, the adult-only retro game show where the decades battle for supremacy because it's your history. We just fight for it. Welcome back. I am Mark James, and this week we have for you another week experience battle where all of our competitors' picks must fall within one calendar week. I will be competing with June 24th through the 30th of 1989 alongside the other duelers and the decades they will be fighting for. First off, he's sort of tall with hair and he wears t-shirts sometimes. Say hello to Man Crush.
Very good description, but I have a hoodie on today. It's I have June 19th through the 25th of 1994. And before we get this started, I just want to say, Kalie, I saw this on your Instagram where you had that picture yesterday where you're flipping off the crowd and you said you're ready to flip everybody off. You can flip us off. Like, let's just get it out of the way. All right, there it is. All right, that's what I got, though, for this week.
Also joining us on the panel is the media king of the North. Please welcome Joe Finley.
It is such an honor for you guys to have me this week. Oh, Lordy. Had my 14th anniversary last week, so I wasn't here, so I'm making it up by, showing up and actually doing my job this week, and I'm going to take a little double duty and take on June of 1977.
Yeah.
And as always here on the show, we need somebody to adjudicate all of this awesomeness. So this week's guest judges are from the dark pop band Rivals. All rise for judges Kalie, Sebastian, and Mickett.
Hello, hello.
What's up?
What's up, y'all?
I have to say, I think you guys might be the youngest judges we've ever had on this one.
I think
Hey.
so. Yeah.
How old do
wait.
you think we
I
are?
was like, wait, how old do you think we are?
How old do you guys think we are?
Yeah.
This could be a fun game.
35.
Oh, thank you.
That is so nice of you.
a little bit older.
I may have been the youngest before that, and I'm 39.
Get right.
He's 34.
I'm
All
30.
right.
All right.
Sweet.
That's
So this will
manageable.
be a new perspective because seriously, I think the youngest before this was who's the wrestling guy that we had on? Not RJ City. Actually, maybe it was RJ.
Yeah, I think
he's
it's
like,
RJ City.
he's like 30.
John Cena.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come on all the time.
This will be fun.
We had
You guys,
John
I think
Cena
you'll know a
on.
lot of this stuff. Though.
Yeah, we had John Cena on, but we couldn't see him. So,
There it is.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, the following contest will be held under Dueling Decades rules. The judges' coin flip shall decide who picks first out of the 5 Dueling Decades categories: movies, television, music, news, and hot products. A judge's ruling will determine who wins each round, allowing the victor to choose the next available category. The first 3 rounds are worth 1 point each, with rounds 4 and 5 worth 2 points apiece. And in the event of a tie after all 5 rounds, we'll go to a final wild card round. Remember, duelers, to review the show, listen, subscribe, and play along at home. It's time for more Dueling Decades. All right, let's go right down to our guest judges for tonight, members from the band Rivals.
So, Joe, you can call it,
Okay.
and it'll be between me and Joe.
Yeah.
Sounds
All right,
great.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and call heads then.
Right.
Look at that table.
It's a great table.
It is
It
heads.
is.
Oh,
Ooh. All
I
right,
al-
Joe Finley, you win the coin toss, and you get to select our first category.
Oh, I always dread actually having to be the first person to choose because I never really want to be. However, I think I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start with the news round.
All righty.
Okay, and so I want to take you back to, let me see the exact date here. This is a really interesting one. It was June 25th, 1977. I want to talk about a man named, this is bad for live. Anyways, there's a specific man whose last name is Sullivan, and I can't find his first name for some reason. But on
Sully.
June 25th, 1977, he was struck by lightning for the 7th time. And I want to take you through a little story that is God trying to kill this man for most of his life. In April of 1942, he was hiding from a thunderstorm in a fire lookout tower. It did not have a lightning rod on it as it had been recently put up, and fire was bouncing all along the tower. So he had to escape the tower. He was struck by lightning. It actually tore his leg, and his hair caught on fire. Let's skip ahead to July 1969, where he was in his truck. Lightning hit a pole near him and bounced off and hit him. It is almost impossible to be hit by lightning in a truck, but this guy managed to do it. His hair caught on fire, by the way. 1970, he was in his front yard and just lightning hit a power pole and he went down again. This time he just burnt his shoulder. His hair stayed intact. In spring of 1972, he was working inside a ranger station. He was a park ranger. And he was struck again in the station. At this point, he became very fearful of death, as it was basically lurking around every corner, to the point where anytime he saw clouds coming, he would lay down on the floor of his truck. Whenever he saw the clouds, he'd stop the car and he'd just lay down and wait for the storm or no storm to pass. That was the kind of guy. 1973, on patrol in the park again, saw a storm cloud forming, so he started to run away. He got struck by lightning. His hair caught fire.
No.
Number 6, he injured his ankle being struck by lightning. But what was really funny is he was. Oh no, that's the next one. It was basically the exact same thing. He saw another cloud and he was convinced. He said in his story that he was convinced that it followed him because it looked to be going one way and he started heading away and it started heading towards him. He gets struck again. Hair caught fire again. So of the 6 I've said, 5 his hair caught completely on fire, and then the final one, he was just fishing in a freshwater pool. He gets struck by lightning. He goes down. He loses consciousness. As he's coming to, he sees that a bear is trying to steal his fish from his line, and he had the wherewithal to beat the bear away with a stick. Because if lightning's not going to kill you, a bear's probably not going to do it after that many times. He also recalled a time when he was a kid where he was holding his father's scythe out of their farm, and he was struck by lightning again, but that one he wasn't injured. And his wife was also struck by lightning once when he was in the yard with her. So this is a man who nature is just trying to kill. The last time it happened to him, though, was June 25th, 1977.
How did he still have hair?
That's what I'm saying. You would think it wouldn't grow back. I keep seeing like his eyebrows get singed off and his eyelashes go away. I'm like, you would think it'd be like laser treatment at some point, or it just wouldn't come back.
Wow.
How is he even living? Like, it's 7 times.
And because it's news and I'm a bummer, he did take his own life shortly thereafter.
Oh, well.
Oh, shit.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but you said, how is he
start
alive?
the game off?
I guess
I wasn't going
nice.
to bring it up. I wasn't going to bring it
Right.
up, but
All right, Man Crush, what did you bring for the news round?
All right, so let's go June 21st of 1994. And I just missed out on a huge one here. It was the 25th anniversary of the Stonewall Inn riots. And there was an enormous gay rights march. Mark and I were talking about this beforehand that like coincided with that event, but I missed it by like 2 days. So I couldn't pick that. So anyhow, so I keep digging through newspapers.com and I landed on an article from the early days of the internet. And I still believe this one resonates today. It's funny that like we're talking about this 27 years ago here, but at this time in 1994, when I searched the term website, it came up with 3 matches for the entire month of June of 1994. And it was spelt website, like it was 2 words, which is the weirdest shit ever. And 3 times. I mean, I'm sure the search might have missed a few, but I mean, think about it. It shows how far we've come in 27 years. I'm sure the term website pops up in one article more than 3 times, like an entire month came up 3 times. Anyhow, this article right here, it was Netiquette for newbies and nerds. And I'm just going to cover the highlights of this one. It's a lengthy article, so I'm just going to skim it. But for many computer users, connecting with a bulletin board or joining an online service is like visiting a foreign land. The language is strange, the customs are mysterious, and the terrain is unfamiliar. It's easy to make mistakes in these circumstances, just like an overseas traveler who blunders into the wrong restroom because he can't read the sign on the door. The online world is experiencing a kind of culture shock these days as hordes of new users, known as newbies, buy modems and start exploring. Many are unaware that cyberspace, when was the last time you heard that term? Cyberspace has its own rules and conventions, and with that, they need to learn netiquette. Think of netiquette as the rules of the road of the information superhighway, another term nobody uses anymore. The goal is to protect free speech while also prompting respect, tolerance, and courtesy. Now, I'm going to provide you some of these rules of netiquette that she gave me here. It's been 27 years. We'll see how many of these still exist today and people don't follow them. I'm sure there's a lot of them. And she said, if you don't follow these, you will be flamed for ignoring them. I haven't heard that in a long time either, but here we go. Here's one. Look around when you're getting started. See what other people are doing. Observation goes a long way. Sit around for a week or so before writing anything. This is known as lurking. There you go, people. 2, be clear and careful what you write. It's easy for written messages, especially those laced with sarcasm or irony, to be misunderstood. If you mean something as a joke, end it with a smiley face. And then she explains how to make a smiley face. So if you don't know, you shouldn't just don't use the internet at this point. 3, don't capitalize your entire message. In the online community, this is viewed as shouting and is considered rude and is sure sign of a greenhorn. Whatever the fuck that is. I don't even know what a greenhorn is. So let's just move on to the next one. Put messages in the proper topic area. This is big. There's nothing more infuriating than having your reading of sports messages interrupted by a message about immigration. This is called losing the thread. Keep public messages short and to the point. Your mother might be interested. Your mother might be impressed by your 6-page assessment of the Palestinians, but everyone else would rather for a paragraph. Use a civil tone in writing messages. Not only is it the courteous thing to do, but hostile messages reflect poorly on the author. I think those on Facebook should use this one. And obviously avoid obscenity and profanity. That is, of course, unless some asshole loses a thread, then fuck them. And last one, it says, yeah, seriously. The last one, finally, be kind when others make mistakes. You could be next. You know, after reading all these, I know a lot of people that should reread this article. This is 7 years old. So I hope this helped. For the people listening on the podcast, can't see this or whatever, I'll put this on our Facebook page and you guys can go over it. Maybe we'll pin it to the top of our group.
But what I'm hearing
what
is
I
that
got.
nudes are on the table.
Sometimes.
Get my phone out.
All right. So for my news story, I found it in the Los Angeles Times, June 29th, 1989, where the headline read, "A new flag will be hoisted over the Capitol Records building in Hollywood today. The rap, rock, and rolling Beastie Boys will raise a 15 by 20-foot flag with their logo to note the signing with Capitol in the July 25th release of their debut album on that label, Paul's Boutique." The roof of the Capitol Records building actually didn't have a flagpole at the time, so one was installed on the spire for the event, and it's remained there ever since. Along with the flag, they had Beastie Boys sky written over LA. The 3 MCs and their friends that night, they spray painted all over the roof, and while most of the graffiti was actually painted up within days, Yount's MCA tag inside the fuse box remained untouched. Following his death in 2012, the tag kind of just became the label's unofficial private memorial to him. Ed Rock would say in the Beastie Boys book about this day, "It's not like we wanted to burn the fucking flag or anything. It's just we had a huge we just wanted a huge American flag that said Beastie Boys on it, flown on the roof of the Capitol Records building. And when Paul's Boutique was finished and handed in the Capitol, that flag was raised for all of Los Angeles to see. We had a big record release party on the roof of that building. It's kind of Hollywood's own premier Empire State Building. The party coincided with George Bush's campaign to protect the American flag from desecration. We weren't trying to burn it or anything. We were the multi-platinum fight for your right to party guys. We were just really feeling ourselves," he said. "We just wanted the world to know. Like, this was Frank Sinatra's building, but now it's ours. We truly believe that we were the shot callers. So I give you an unlikely memorial and a new flag over LA in Capitol Records with the Beastie Boys, June 29th, 1989.
That was good.
That's cool.
I like that one.
All right, let's toss it over to Rivals for our judgment on the news round.
All right. One moment.
She's learning.
I can keep doing that and talk.
Technical difficulties. Please stand by with this album.
Yeah, they can hear us. Should we mute it? Okay, we're going to mute it.
Okay, go ahead.
How do I mute it?
All right, well, we're going to talk amongst ourselves then. I'm going to...
They're discussing this in secret right now.
The secret ballot has no place here.
I don't think we've ever done a show where we've had a jury kind of go in seclusion and discuss it.
Yeah, this is serious.
All right.
Yeah. All righty.
The winner is Lightning.
Yeah.
Why lightning? So you're
Take that,
You
everybody.
got struck by lightning like 87 times, bro. You were alone.
And
I guess he
it's
does
so
deserve
sad
it.
it just became funny. Like, like poor guy. Like,
Then he kills himself at the end, but at least he won this round.
I want to
it
know
just-
how
just-
he
he
killed
barely
himself.
won that because he threw that at the end. He was like, by the way.
How
He
did
shocked
he kill
himself to
himself?
death.
Right? Was it electrocution?
It wasn't.
Throw
I
in
do.
the toilet.
I didn't even want to bring up that he did it, so I don't want to bring up how he did it. I do know.
Oh.
it involve
now you
lightning?
gotta tell.
Oh, it's self-inflicted gunshot. Do we really need to?
Oh, that's boring.
Ah.
Gotta be better than that.
Loser.
I was
All
hoping
right.
I was hoping to be ironic.
Lightning.
Yeah. Electric chair. Get my toaster.
I was gonna say toaster in the tub would be my way.
Yeah.
Right.
Paper cuts. I think I said toaster in the toilet bowl, like he was gonna be swimming in there before.
All right, Joe Finley, you pick up our first point, but more importantly, you take control of the board and get to select our second category. Where are we going?
All right, well, let's go and give hot products a whirl.
Alrighty.
Okay. So I'm going to take you to June 30th, 1977. I'm actually going to go with an album this year. It's usually tough when you've got a week to find a hot product. And I'm going to take you wanted the best. You got the best. It's Kiss with their album Love Gun.
Nice.
It was the 6th studio album by Kiss, but it was the first one to reach the top 5 in the Billboard 200. It was released on the heels of a Gallup poll that named Kiss the most popular rock band in the United States. That poll included Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin, and the Eagles, and it beat all of them out. The album's the first one that all 4 band members are actually lead vocals on a song. And it was Ace Frehley's first time ever singing lead vocals in any of the albums. And it was also the last studio album to feature Peter Criss on every track. Afterwards, he would get replaced, at least here and there, by session drummers and stuff like that. The album topped out at number 4 on the charts in the US, number 3 in Canada. It was certified platinum. Little bits and pieces. One of their songs, the demo that they did for it, was who was it? The guitar was done by Eddie Van Halen, then rather unknown. And just one of my favorite things from that album was in the movie Role Models, where Sean William Scott explains to the little kid that his dick is the gun. Oh, you just heard my dog go bananas underneath me. But anyways, yeah, so
I
Sean
thought that was
William.
your dick.
No.
It doesn't work that well.
No. This was my dick. Right?
You got a really cute dick.
Thank you.
That happens to be its name.
You're not the first judge on this show to say that, but you're the one who it means the most coming from.
Oh, I see how it is.
Well, you didn't say anything.
Yeah, he's waiting for you guys to also say the same thing.
I'm pretty needy about this sort of thing.
All right. All right, Man Crush. What did you bring for the hot products round?
I didn't bring music to the hot products round. That's what I didn't bring. Joe
Trash
Finley.
talk.
Oh man, I like how you slipped that in at the beginning too. You're like, oh well, I only had a week, so what I got is music for this.
Oh,
round.
okay. You explain away for the next 9 minutes what your pick was.
Oh, all right. So let's go to June 20th of 1994. And you know what? Statistically speaking, coming off 2 consecutive hot product wins in a row, the odds are stacked against me to win a third. But I'm going to give this one a shot. So back in 1994, I was already on the internet for 2 or 3 years. So this actually kind of follows up the other one. So it makes sense. So I was already familiar with this product launch. And in 1994, internet was not a basic utility like it is now for you youngins that are over there. I'm sure you guys might not know this, but you had to search for a service and you had to connect to it with a slow ass modem. And I think around yeah, exactly. And right around 1994, I was rocking this sweet ass US Robotics 14.4 baud modem. So just to give you an idea how slow that was, it would roughly take about 30 seconds for a 50 kilobyte image to load. And that's not even a very big image. So I'm just throwing that out there so you could really appreciate when you're scrolling through your Instagram like a madman and seeing every image already there. That's how far we've gotten. Yeah, or Pornhub. I mean, either way. I mean, the shit's already there, right? You just click it and it doesn't even have to buffer. But anyway, like if you weren't living in a big city at the time, the chances are you didn't have like a local internet service provider to dial into. So what most people did was you had to get a big box service to get on, like they said before, the information superhighway. So of course, there's services like America Online, CompuServe, Prodigy. I think Genie was the other one. But then on June 20th of 1994, Apple decides to throw their hat in the ring and they launch eWorld, which was only for people with Apple computers at the time. And listen, I hear people bitching all the time about how much they pay for their internet. And that's one of the reasons I picked this one. Next time you're ready to complain about how much you're paying for the internet, think about this. In 1994, if you wanted to use eWorld, you'd pay the mere price of $9, which is roughly $16 in 2021, but you'd only be getting 2 hours of use for the entire month. And that's only if you used it at night. If you use 2 hours during the day, it would be about $14 a month. I mean, that's a fucking bargain, right? So yeah, you could scrap paying $80 a month for broadband, which you get now, and you only pay $9, but you only get 2 hours. So think about that when we're complaining about how much we pay. And I do it the same shit. But what do you get for this amazing introductory offer of $9 a month, right? So they had this really slick town square, which it sort of looked like you're playing The Sims. It had like this whole like village thing that was going on. And then you get like check your email, browse different forums, read the news, check stock quotes, sports updates, play a few games, buy something mega expensive at the marketplace, or you could chat with other Apple enthusiasts and like countless chat rooms. I mean, nothing earth-shattering that they had here. Problem was this: Apple lacked Steve Jobs in 1994. Jobs, he wouldn't be back with Apple for another 3 years, and it showed. The marketing for eWorld was utter dog shit. The pricing, as you can see, was insane, and compared to other services, it was way more. And they never opened up eWorld to PC users, which they said they were going to do. So that said, they ended up shutting down eWorld 2 years later, and they only amassed about 100,000 subscribers, and they just were hemorrhaging money at this point. So that leads me to why this is a hot product, because it sounds like utter dog shit, right? So today, Apple is worth roughly $2 trillion. I'm not even making that figure up. That's how much they're worth. They're one of the top 5 most valuable companies on the entire planet. In 1996, when this product was killed off, Apple was worth about $11 billion. All right. But this was their biggest loss in years. They lost $69 million in the first quarter of 1996 alone.
Nice.
Which leads to the forced resignation of then CEO Michael Spindler. So without these insanely horrible decisions like eWorld, Steve Jobs might have never come back. And then you think about that, where would Apple be today? Would Apple be a $2 trillion company, or would they have continued to hemorrhage money making these bullshit things like eWorld? So I give you a huge, hot, steaming pile of guano. It's Apple's eWorld as my hot product.
Okay.
Was that 9 minutes, Joe?
I didn't time it. I dozed off.
Music round.
All right. So for my hot product, we're going to go to the pages of the Chicago Tribune, June 29th, 1989, and we'll peek inside George Lazarus on marketing. He's got a segment in there. It says, Lifesavers makes a wholly new item. The company that has garnered a reputation for selling the candy with the hole now wants to market its centerpiece as well. The mainstay product, of course, is Lifesavers. The new item, spotted by sources in Ohio and Florida, is Lifesavers Holes, which in form will remind consumers of the Mini Mints pellets sold by Tic Tacs or Certs. He goes on to say in the article that Lifesavers isn't willing to say much about this new product right now, except to disclose that it will be on retail sale in selected test markets later this year, perhaps in November. Now, other sources keep this on the down low. They say the item may be on sale by a distributor sometime earlier. Real vague there. Lifesavers Holes came in a plastic container with a flip-top cap packaging. It's kind of similar in size to the original Lifesavers roll. Now, the Planters Lifesavers spokesperson described the new items as a bite-sized mint or fruit drop candy. But bite-sized mint might be an exaggeration, as the 45 candy balls in each package of Lifesavers collectively weigh 0.28 ounces. Now, for example, a regular roll of Lifesavers has 11 candies in it, and that weighs 0.9 ounces. Lifesavers Holes will come in 6 flavors and reportedly will retail for 45 cents. So that's 1 penny for each one of those little tiny candies. Now in 2021, that's 2 cents. So just to up you in for inflation here. Now, the article says that there is top dollar in hard-rolled candy and soft breath fresheners, which may be up to $500 million. Lifesavers is still the dominant brand in rolled candy, but competitors have been putting the squeeze on the brand, causing the number one company to come up with the idea of selling its missing piece. Unfortunately, Lifesavers Holds was just plagued with problems. After being on the market for the second half of 1990, they were recalled for a choking hazard in 1991. Now, not for what you think. It wasn't the tiny BB-sized candies. People were chewing and choking on the plastic lids. They did reappear 4 months later with new packaging, but they were eventually taken off the shelves forever. So I give you Lifesavers Holes. And if you said you ate them one at a time, you're a fucking liar.
Well,
Truth.
So let's throw it down to Kaylee, Sebastian, and Wicket for the ruling on the Hunt Products round.
Yeah, you called him Wicket.
Mickey.
You call him Wicket like you're watching Willow.
now on. It's way cooler.
Although I am easily confused with the Ewok from Star Wars. I'm a different person.
I've never heard someone call him that. It's
Oh
so,
my god.
he gets Nicket a lot, like Nicket.
Right, but
That's
not
funny.
Wicket. Oh, come on.
Wow.
It's a new nickname.
It's a new nickname.
Now hold on. The audience actually wants you to deliberate out loud. They want to hear what you're saying.
Is that what they're saying in the chat? They
Yeah,
want-
that's what they said earlier.
Yeah.
So they just whisper it.
Actually, I know exactly what I think we should pick.
What?
I think we should pick the Lifesavers Holes for the sake that I vaguely remember this actually.
Well, you are 100.
Yeah, I do
Oh,
remember.
Jesus.
I do remember trying to eat one at a time, and it never worked out.
No.
So
Well,
I can
he's
see how
attached
that
to
would
it.
cause choking.
I wanted
not
to
the lid.
choose. I wanted to choose the Mac thing because they lost $69 million. So,
I mean, honestly, the holes is pretty funny.
all right, holes it is.
All right.
Holes take 69.
All right, guys. So I have control of the board. I get to select our next category. Let's go over to the TV round. So flipping through the channels on June 27th, 1989, with coverage beginning at 6:35 p.m. on the superstation TBS, you come across an event that would be televised for the very first time in prime time. This sporting event would make millionaires and make dreams come true and make us say, what the hell were they thinking? As 8 of the top 10 selections on this night would just be labeled as total busts. Now, I see the commissioner coming to the podium, so it's time for the 1989 NBA Draft. So for the 1989 NBA Draft, the rounds were reduced from 3 rounds in the previous year down to the 2-round format that is still in use to this day. As a result, the NBA drafts from 89 to 95 produced the lowest number of total picks at just 54. This was the first ever draft for the Minnesota Timberwolves and my favorite team, the Orlando Magic. Now, this was all prior to their first season in the association. So let's go over and take a look at the big board and see who the winners and losers were from that night. Our first overall pick was 6'9", 210-pound Purvis Ellison out of Louisville. Now, unfortunately, the NCAA champion and All-American nicknamed Never Nervous Purvis would go down to be known as Never in Service Purvis once he hit the NBA. Duke's Danny Ferry was the second overall pick. He would play his first season in the Italian League after refusing to play for the Los Angeles Clippers, the team that drafted him. Now, if you keep going down on here, the number 4 overall pick was Glenn Rice to the Miami Heat. And then we had a slew of just players that washed out of the league. J.R. Reed, Stacey King, George McLeod, Randy White, Tom Hammonds. And then we get to the Minnesota Timberwolves, who make their first ever pick in Pooh Richardson. And the Orlando Magic picked up one of my favorite role players of all time, Nick Anderson. The number 12 pick belonged to the New Jersey Nets, and they selected Eddie Vedder Company as they picked Mookie Blaylock with the 12th pick. Now, the big 2 picks on the night were actually further down. We had Tim Hardaway going at number 14 to the Golden State Warriors. He would go on to lead that team for years. And then all the way down at number 17, we have Mr. Sean Kemp going to the Seattle Supersonics. He would just be a mainstay for that franchise and, well, many other franchises for years. So that's what I got for TV viewing. It's live on TBS. It's the 1989 NBA Draft.
Yay.
Hey.
All right, Joe Finley, what did you bring for the television round?
Well, I also brought some sports with me. I want to take you down to San Francisco, and the Giants' Willie McCovey smashed 2 home runs in the same inning. He is not the first person to do this, but he is the first person to do it twice. He had previously done this in 1973. This was his second, and nobody had ever done that before in the league. In fact, only 5 people total since then have ever accomplished that. I have the names right here too. Why not? It was McCovey, Andre Dawson, Jeff King, Alex Rodriguez, and Edwin Encarnacion, former Blue Jay. Just my Canadian little point in there. One of his 2 home runs was a grand slam. He actually still to this day leads the National League in grand slams with 18. I had to go through, he's 5th overall in grand slams, but everybody else was an AL player. It was a huge day. It was a huge accomplishment, and not one that, like, the baseball players that everybody knows and loves, none of them have done this. It's a very small amount of people, and he was the first ever. So June 27th, Willie McCovey smashes 2 in the 6th inning.
Ooh, sports.
All right, Man Crush. Well, let's see what you brought for the television round. Was it more sports?
No.
Please.
He's like, God, no.
No. Let's go June 24th, 1994. If you know what, first things first, if you're new to this show, I know our judges are new to the show. So this pick right here, this exemplifies why we call this the week experience. And that could be taken either way, W-E-E-K, W-E-A-K, if you like. However, we're going to see this for a couple months, especially when it comes to television. We're in the midst of the summer. TV shows are in hiatus. We rarely get anything in the summer that premieres and sticks for the fall. Interestingly, though, I kind of found one that stuck. Is this a juggernaut? No. Is this something you likely remember? Probably not. But it did stick around for 3 seasons and 18 episodes. And it was something I probably would have watched. This is history, though. We don't always find gold in the dates that we have, but hopefully sometimes we can find a diamond in the rough. So I'm making some assumptions here, which I don't like doing, but I think these assumptions make a lot of sense. This show, it ran on Fox. And one of Fox's biggest shows that debuted in 1993 was X-Files. So my guess is this.
I called it. Sorry, I called it. I was like, X-Files.
It's not actually X-Files. I'll explain this to you. So this is my guess. Fox saw how well X-Files had done in its first year, and they said, we need to feed this audience more alien and occult shit. So let's do something on the cheap and get these people satiated while they're waiting for the new season to begin. Then they flipped over to NBC and they watched Robert Stack send chills down everybody's spine with Unsolved Mysteries and said, fuck, let's just combine X-Files and Unsolved Mysteries. And so they did. And on June 24th, they premiered Encounters, The Hidden Truth. Get it? X-Files, the truth is out there, the hidden truth. And it's like, and each one of these episodes, they usually covered several like specific topics or cases, just like Unsolved Mysteries. Here's a disclaimer that they ran before every episode. And seriously, if a show has a fucking awesome, like if a show has a disclaimer before it, it's just awesome. All right. So here it is. It says the following program deals with controversial subjects. The theories, opinions, and beliefs expressed are not the only possible interpretation. Viewers are invited to make a judgment based on all the information available. All right. Let me just say, this one is tough to find. But there are a few episodes on YouTube. So if you're in the mood for a broke ass Robert Stack lookalike, alien probing, cattle mutilations, exorcisms, Bigfoot, Marilyn Monroe they actually had an episode about Marilyn Monroe being killed because she knew too much about aliens. They had that on there. They were talking about ghosts, vampires, violent dreams, and a bunch of other crazy shit. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to go down to the basement, and I want you to watch Encounters the Hidden Truth alone and with the lights off. And then let me know if it creeps you out, because it's fucking like the quality of these recordings are creepy in itself that you watch on YouTube, and it's pretty fucked up. So watch, it's Encounters the Hidden Truth, debuts June 24th, 1990.
He's writing it down.
It's going to be hard to find. You'll find
phone.
3 episodes in the pilot.
Okay, after this, you need to remind me again.
I will. Just let me know.
So
All right.
we don't like sports.
Well, pause real quick.
They're going with the NBA draft.
I like sports, only football and UFC, or one championship.
So we like sport. Singular sport. We're all sci-fi nerds.
And I'm a conspiracy nut, so
we're going with
Yeah.
baseball. Yeah, we're gonna go with unsolved mysteries.
Yeah, Encounters.
Yeah.
That's what
Encounters. Yeah. Don't call it Unsolved Mysteries. They'll get sued.
Something about cattle mutilation.
Cattle mutilations. I just want to. The episode I was looking for was the Marilyn Monroe one where she was killed off for knowing about aliens. I could not find that one. Oh God!
In fact, there's a conspiracy about Princess Diana being killed because she was gonna reveal the conspiracy of aliens in the royal family.
Oh.
He's really into conspiracy.
Yeah, yeah,
that's a good one.
He was a producer on Encounters.
It's all good source material for writing new music for another album.
Wait, he would have been like, he was a producer when he was like 6. No, how old? Wait, it was 1994. How old are you?
Cattle mutilation.
Shove it up his butt.
But it was like, shove it up his butt.
All right, Man Crush, this game is all tied up. You have control of the board, and we got 2 categories left. We got movies and music. Where are we going first?
All right, since we have a band on, let's finish with music, and let's go movies right here, round 4. And let's go once again, June 24th, 1994 is probably the only time anything was happening that week. It's honestly the truth. Joe, I just noticed this on the live feed. You're doing the transitions, and I didn't notice if you're doing the hand signals.
I'm not. It's the
all right.
There's no audio going with them right now, or very light audio, so you can keep
all right, cool.
We're fine.
I thought you were gonna scold me. Anyhow, all right. So a couple episodes back. Oh well, no, you didn't. We did this big Canon Films episode, which might be like before your time, but we had Austin Trunick on. He was the author of the Canon Film Guide, which I still have sitting right here. And the movie that I brought to the fold in that one was Death Wish 2. And had I not picked that movie so recently, I probably would not have seen the connection with this movie. Unlike Death Wish 2, this movie does not take place in the modern era. Instead, this one takes place in the semi-late 1800s, I think 1870s, early 1880s, somewhere around there. But I promise you, there's a lot of similarities between the two. When you look at Death Wish, like any of them, 1 through 5, Paul Kersey, he's living basically in a lawless environment, right? And he takes matters into his own hands. And this movie right here starts with some law and order and then rides right into some straight Paul Kersey style vigilantism. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Vigilantism. We'll make it a word. Fuck
if it isn't, it better.
So at the box office, this movie, surprisingly, it only brought in $25 million, which is roughly $45 million in 2021.
Only.
But only because it had a higher budget. Budget was like $50 million. We're talking about 1994, so it's not a huge take-in. But honestly, like I was a little surprised by the figure because like at the time this genre was hot. And that said, I think it suffered at the box office because this movie was beat out a year prior, actually probably about 6 months prior, by the smash hit Tombstone, which I must admit is fucking amazing. It's probably one of my favorite movies of the 90s altogether.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Oh, dude, it's amazing. Like, I love that movie. Anyhow, like
Same. Fun fact. All right. Are you allowed to like interrupt or whatever?
Yeah, well, go ahead. You already did. So like,
I just thought of it reminded me of a tourist story. So we did a 5-day festival cruise to Mexico with Papa Roach and like a bunch of other bands that were on it.
Drop
nice.
Well, that was the headliner, but we each had our own cabin, and I found some fans
That's not
brought weed onto the ship.
We had bunk beds.
And well, yes, whatever. But they brought weed onto the ship, and I was like, "Yo, what's up, dude?" Like,
We're friends.
literally the entire time, all I would do is I'd go to the fans' place. We'd smoke. They had 24-hour like buffet, whatever you can have. Would go grab that, go to the bottom of my or not the bottom of the ship where the rooms were, and they had Tombstone running nonstop. Like once the movie was over, it started over and again. So like I ordered countless of chocolate milks, had the food high as shit. Instead of going out and enjoying the ship and shit, I sat home, sat in the room, literally eating, watching Tombstone. But
that's amazing. And to tie that together, I saw Papa Roach at Ozfest. I think it was 2001, and they started a riot. And Sharon Osbourne, there was like mud being tossed. Like they had just sodded the field. I think we were at PNC, and they had just sodded the field, and everyone was ripping up the new sod and tossing it on the stage because they told them to. And Sharon Osbourne had to come out on the stage and tell all of us assholes to stop throwing mud before, and then they ended up getting arrested, and this whole thing happened or whatever. Great story. But anyhow, so we'll move on from that. Thanks for sharing. But that's probably the reason this movie didn't do well, though, is because that came out like 6 months beforehand, and that movie killed. And if you didn't know this is interesting, though. Kevin Costner, of course, the movie I'm talking about is Wyatt Earp, and Kevin Costner was actually supposed to be in Tombstone, and he decided that they just weren't focusing enough on Wyatt Earp, so he left the project and then started this project, and they did Wyatt Earp instead. So getting back to what I was saying earlier about Death Wish. I mean, sure, like Wyatt Earp, he's a lawman, but he ignored all the rules. Once his younger brother, Morgan, you're familiar with Tombstone, so same story, right? His younger brother, Morgan, gets killed in front of him while they're playing pool. And then his older brother, Virgil, gets ambushed and maimed. He loses function of his arm. So right after that, like Wyatt, Doc Holliday, his other brothers, and a couple other dudes, they go on what they call the Vendetta Ride. And it doesn't get any more vigilante than this. They literally just rode around the territory and just gunning down any cowboys that had anything to do with his brothers in Tombstone. So he kills Frank Stillwell, Indian Charlie, Johnny Barnes. Then he basically obliterated Curly Bill's body, who's in Tombstone, but I think his death is a little bit different in that one. Completely blasts this dude. And just like Paul Kersey, Wyatt Earp is wanted by the law after all this stuff is said and done. And then he gets arrested and they let him off. So I give you the original Paul Kersey. It's Wyatt Earp, June 24th, 1994.
Okay.
Sorry, Mickey had to borrow my shoes.
It happens.
Yeah, weird stuff.
What size are your
He has
shoes?
small feet. I don't have big feet.
Like
the other way.
All right.
Actually, I think, fun fact, everyone has small feet.
Yeah, we all have small. Actually,
No, Josh doesn't.
Josh has
Does he?
normal feet.
Does he
Okay,
have
this is totally irrelevant. Okay,
Wait,
go
what is a normal shoe size?
Well,
they make fun of me and call me Littlefoot because I'm 6'2" and
Yes, we
I
know.
have 9.5. So they call me Littlefoot all the time.
I wear
Makes
a men's
sense.
7. He wears a men's 7.
I wear men's 8.
Do you guys share shoes on tour?
Accidentally?
Accidentally, yeah. At one point, we both ended up buying the same pair of shoes, not on purpose, just separate, and then ended up on tour. And he kept putting my shoes on, thinking they were his.
Were they heels or anything?
No.
I had to ask. I'm sure people are
He doesn't
curious.
own his own pair.
How did these get on Beer at Bat?
All right.
He
Sorry
looked
to
great in
derail
heels,
you.
though.
Make my calves look great.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, Josh Cam. Yeah. Anyways.
All right, Joe Finley. What did you bring for the movies round?
Something about shoes, I think. No, I found a world premiere in New York. I saw coverage for it in the San Antonio Express, went to newspapers.com, and on June 26, 1977, they covered this big gala, which was the after party for this world premiere, and all the who's who was present. JFK Jr. and Caroline Kennedy with their mom, Jackie O. They were all there. All the stars of the movie. And mayoral candidate Bella Abzug just showed up and crashed the party and created a very large scene there. This was all at the plaza. And the producer of the film who put on the party, Joe Levine, had a particular issue with it and lashed out at her at the party and in an interview later on. But the film that I am talking about was actually a Richard Attenborough directed film called A Bridge Too Far.
I love that movie.
There you go.
Sorry.
It is. It's a weird movie because it's about a specific failed operation called Operation Market Garden, which was basically an air and land operation to take over and cross a number of bridges in the Netherlands that was very unsuccessful. And actually it was so unsuccessful that one of the stars almost refused to do the movie because he thought that the movie was glorifying a military disaster. But the people who were involved in this movie, more than the movie itself, just blows my mind when you just read the list. So it's directed by Richard Attenborough, as I said. He did Gandhi, A Chorus Line Chaplain. He was John Hammond in Jurassic Park, for people who know him that way. It was written by William Goldman, who did Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Princess Bride, All the President's Men. But here is the list of stars in this movie. Sean Connery, Laurence Olivier, Michael Caine, Ryan O'Neal, Gene Hackman. It also featured Anthony Hopkins, James Caan, Elliot Gould, Robert Redford, and John Ratzenberger, because, John Ratzenberger was lighting up the films, being in Star Wars and A Bridge Too Far, all at the same time. Excuse me. So Attenborough only did the movie because he was trying to fund Gandhi, and Levine gave him a ridiculous amount of money to go do that if he spent a ridiculous amount of money to do this one. But Roger Ebert tells a different story about how this movie went, and he said, "A Bridge Too Far is an exercise in wretched excess. We're prepared to speculate that maybe Joe Levine went 2 or even 3 bridges too far." The movie cost about $26 million. That's equivalent of $116 million today. It was one of the highest budget movies at the time. And it didn't get a lot of praise and awards on this side, but it was nominated for 4 BAFTA awards in England, including Best Supporting Actor. So that is my movie, the world premiere of A Bridge Too Far.
I will say that movie was way too fucking long. That's the only thing. That was the only.
So was Wyatt Earp.
thing
Wyatt Earp was 3 hours.
Yeah, like literally it's 3
That's
hours.
a Kevin Costner
Like,
short.
Yeah, it is, seriously.
it's like you got 2 hours in me and after that, it's that's whatever. Like
I hear you. I'm on the same page. Hour and a half. I'm like
Yeah.
a 90-minute movie person. After that, just end it.
literally.
All right.
Strike
so,
me by lightning or something.
Again.
Yeah.
You're funny, Jim. Me and Nikki came up with a nickname for Josh and Sam mixed together, and it's Jim. But Josh is in
It's
here.
like if we fusion
Yeah.
together like Dragon Ball.
Jim.
all right. So for my movie selection, let's go to the pages of the Los Angeles Times, June 29th, 1989, where I found a sneak preview of a film that was partially based on a low-budget Hindi film and was originally set to star Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. And it was directed by the same guy who gave us First Blood, North Dallas 40, and Uncommon Valor. So the almost full-page ad for the sneak preview reads, "Free screening tonight, 8 p.m. for Weekend at Bernie's, starring Andrew McCarthy and Jonathan Silverman. A one-time only free screening tonight. First come, first served. Regular engagement starts July 5th. I did find the review for Weekend at Bernie's during my week. This one was out in The Times out of Shreveport, Louisiana, June 30th, 1989. In Weekend at Bernie's, two guys are invited by their boss to his posh beach house. They arrive not only to find the host dead, and they spend the rest of the movie trying to conceal the fact. This is a little funnier than it sounds. Weekend at Bernie's, in the tradition of most summer dribble, relies on certain loudish tolerance on the part of the audience. To enjoy the film requires accepting as funny the sight of a dead body being knocked over balconies, dragged behind a speedboat, buried in the sand by a kid with a toy shovel, and so forth. And then he ends the article by saying McCarthy continues a nearly unbroken string of unremarkable performances. Silverman is pleasantly put upon, and Stewart as Gwen required only to look perplexed. And Kaiser is more believable as a corpse than his colleagues are as living, breathing characters. Weekend at Bernie's director Ted Koncheff actually has a hilarious cameo in the film, and it's one of my favorite parts in the film. It's when Jonathan Silverman's on the couch with Gwen, and they're making out, and then his dad comes out in his underwear, and he's like, "Oh, that'll be all, Monroe. Why don't you lay my blue suit out?" And he's like, "Why don't I lay you out?" That's the director of the film playing his dad. Great cameo. So yeah, I give you Weekend at Bernie's in a special sneak preview, June 29th, 1989.
Me personally, I'm just gonna be biased and say A Bridge Too Far, just because that's one of my favorite movies.
Actually, okay, little random thing. Sometimes I tend to put weird stuff together, but I'm pretty sure the dance, the Bernie, is based off of that movie. I don't know how people got there, but like, do you remember the dance is very like? And
are you talking about Weekend at Bernie's 2?
Yeah, that's Weekend at Bernie's 2.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I'm going with that one just based off of that. And plus, it's a good movie.
Never seen any of them.
Oh my god!
Wow.
I'm not a big movie person.
Why'd you go? Oh!
You felt right.
The energy was just there.
Oh! No, I've never seen any of them.
Bridge Too Far.
That one's funny, and that one's serious.
It's not serious. It's serious.
You're too serious.
Flip a coin.
Flip a Bernie.
I don't know what I did with that coin. I'm going with Bernie.
Yeah.
I think the audience is going Bernie as well.
Yeah.
Looks like.
All
Sorry.
right. So I pick up 2 points in that round, and we're heading into our final round, which would be the music round.
What happens if two of you end up with 3 points?
It's a fight to the death.
Yeah.
We go to it's a quick wild card round where we can pick.
And you guys have to LARP, and the winner.
We have to LARP.
Lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. Well, we both did the same shit.
Yeah, I'm requesting a LARP.
Laugh off.
LARP.
All right, we'll start off with my music selection here. After the death of this band's guitarist in 1985, they all decided to part ways. Now, sometime after that, they all began working on new music, and these songs would bring the band back together again and give us one of the great comeback albums of all time. This album proved to be one of the greatest commercial achievements for the band, and its success propelled the band to international superstar status. And on Wednesday, June 28th, 1989, according to an ad I found in the LA Times, you could attend the album release party at the club Hot Lava for Cosmic Thing by the B-52s. Cosmic Thing. Now, Cosmic Thing would soar to the top of the Billboard album charts, sell 5 million copies, and yield their first ever top 10 hits, Love Shack and Rome, and the top 40 hit, Deadbeat Club. Now, off the success of Cosmic Thing, the reunited B-52s played to sold-out audiences worldwide on a tour that lasted more than 18 months, including an Earth Day gig before nearly 750,000 people. And that was held in New York City's Central Park. Love Shack peaked at number 3 and was named by Rolling Stone as the best single of 1989 in the 246th greatest song of all time. Tin Roof Rusted, I give you Cosmic Thing by the B-52s.
Okay.
Oh.
I know that song.
All right.
In the movies round.
All right, Joe, what did you bring for the music round?
It wasn't a rock. It was a rock lobster. No, I'm going to bring you something. June 26, 1977. The man himself, Elvis Presley, sings his final concert prior to his death in August at the Market Square Arena in Indianapolis, Indiana. It was actually for a special called Elvis in Concert. He was a compilation of him traveling through multiple places. He may not have expected that this was going to be his last concert, but if you saw the concert, you probably would have expected, to the point where they had to edit this thing so much because he had to struggle through songs. The well-known spoken part of "Are You Lonesome Tonight," they actually covered up with fan footage from out in front of the buildings and stuff like that, because he was just fumbling through it and was really struggling. At that point, he had been, addicted to painkillers, and he'd put on a lot of weight.
I actually
and all that kind of
saw
stuff.
that video with my mom. by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. You can find a lot of this cut footage too in the documentary "This Is Elvis" if you are so looking for it. But let's just look back at the man's career. 23 studio, 19 live or compilation albums, 29 EPs, 24 box sets, and 107 compilations that came out after he died. He had 100 gold records, 57 platinum, 25 multi-platinum, and sold roughly 600 million albums worldwide. He starred in 33 movies as well. I mean, everybody knows who he was. He was the biggest selling solo performer of all time until his son-in-law Michael Jackson took over some of those records, and it's so I mean, the end of just one of the most dominating eras of one person in music. I give you Elvis Presley's final concert.
That's a good one.
That's a good one, Joe. All right, Man Crush, what did you bring for the music round?
He's like, shit, how am I supposed to go?
I mean, if you look at it, this is merit, and I know Joe's selling it as the lineage, but this is his worst performance. And I'm a huge Elvis fan. So, I mean, you're really looking at the bottom of the barrel. This is like the dynasty. I know you guys love sports. So this is like the dynasty football team that then goes 0-16. So, I mean, it's basically what it is. I'm on the other side of that. I'm starting at the bottom and rising up. So let's go once again, June 24th, 1994, which happened to be a Friday, which everything seems to have landed on. And this song, it reminds me completely of high school. I mean, everything about this. And I know that probably makes me sound like I'm next to death because she thinks you're old and you're 34, but I'm 35 tonight. So we're all good here. But I looked at the albums for this week and like nothing spoke to me. But when I looked at the singles, and there were a few good ones, so I had to go the singles route. So not only is this song and band like a fantastic snapshot of mid-90s alternative rock, but this is also their first single that this band has ever released. It's also the first song that the lead singer of this band ever wrote. And one thing that we talked about this a couple months back with Andre Gower was the importance of MTV at the time. So Geffen Records, who had these guys, they hired Spike Jonze, Video Dynamo at the time, who was actually also fairly new at the time, but he became a staple of the 90s as well. So he shot this video, which is also the band's first video. And to say this video was on MTV all the time would be a complete understatement. I feel like this band's first two videos were always on MTV, and both were done by Spike Jonze, by the way, which probably attributed them to becoming like one of the top acts of the 90s, and they still are today. They don't tour quite as much. I think they were supposed to be on tour last year with Green Day, and that got canceled, and that's going to kick back up, I think, again this summer. Surprisingly, this debut single, it only topped at number 57 on the Billboard Hot 100. But as we mentioned on that episode a couple months ago, at this point in time in 1994, I really do believe like your MTV airtime was far more important than where you were ranked on the charts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just what it is. Like, who cares they were number 57? They were constantly on MTV. And I think part of the reason that a lot of people thought this song was funny and that was because of the video. But Rivers Cuomo himself said that this is supposed to be a sad and depressing song. But you know what? It's like Brendan. I'm throwing names out. Brendan B. Brown from Weedus, he was on a couple weeks ago, and he said the song is what it is. Like, sure, the writer sees it one way, but the audience can completely manipulate it to see however they see fit. So that said, this is one of those songs where it's fun to watch people online just like argue about the true meaning, blah, blah, like, oh, no, it's about this. I know this story. It's about this. The bottom line is you're all right, because it's however you take it. That's how the song is, So I give you Weezer, Undone, the Sweater Song.
Okay.
We were sitting here going, who is it? Who is it? Dang.
All right.
Gotta go. What?
Yeah, go ahead. We'll toss it down to Mickett, Sebastian, and Kaylee for the ruling on the music round.
Well, I gotta say Elvis, because my mom is like an absolute diehard fan. She had his face at one point tattooed on her shoulder.
Wait, where'd it go?
Nice.
She covered it up.
Oh.
Yeah, she has a big.
She saw that last concert.
She has like their signature at one point. An entire room was dedicated to all Elvis memorabilia, like posters, trays,
It's crazy.
action figures. Like, yeah.
I'm gonna go with Weezer.
Why do you do this to me?
Just because I existed then. And,
It's my mom, Kaylee. It's my mom.
Fuck
Okay.
your mom.
Wow.
I just can't
Best
keep it
answer
away.
ever
Like,
on an episode. He's calling her.
Hi,
Put her on.
Mom.
But guess what?
Oh, fuck. I can break the ice.
We got an exclusive.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Oh, God.
And you ain't no friend of mine.
Yeah, I know.
Come on, you see that? You like that? Ain't no
Yeah.
friend of mine.
I was born in 94, but that doesn't mean anything. Dude, I don't remember anything from that fucking year.
Why not?
You remember every detail from the year you were born.
Of course.
That's when Raiders came out, so of course, yeah.
Yes.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, my heart.
Oh. You're gonna make Joe cry.
It's
Sorry,
not
but I have to go Elvis.
boom.
Right.
So classic.
All right, Joe Finley, you pick up 2 points. You tie this game with me, and we're going to go on to our final wild card round to decide who wins this game.
All righty. I am going to defer to you, good sir.
All righty. All right. So for my wild card selection, I actually went with another hot product. Or maybe we should call this one a cold product. It might be a little more fitting. We're going to go over to the Tennessean in Nashville, Tennessee, June 28th, 1989, where the headline reads, Nestle Crunch Bar features 4 flavors. The original Nestle Crunch Bar remains one of the top-selling ice cream bars in the country. Rich vanilla ice cream surrounded by milk chocolate with a crisp rice coating makes this treat hard to beat, unless, of course, you're comparing it to the new Chocolate Crunch. It's just like the original Crunch, except it has chocolate ice cream. And then the article goes on to talk about, in addition to the Crunch, Nestle still has their original ice cream bars that they're reintroducing in Alpine White and with almonds. So my wild card selection, the Nestle Crunch ice cream bar, now available in chocolate. All right, Joe Finley.
Now I want ice cream.
You just sold me on the
No.
chocolate Nestle.
Now I want it. But I
All right,
always
Joe
want ice cream.
Finley.
Joe looks like he's like, fuck.
What is your wild card
Like
selection?
mine, potatoes.
Well, I'm going with the news, and it's not coming in chocolate. It's actually good news for a change coming from me. On June 30th, 1977, the Women Marines, better known as the Marine Corps Women's Reserve, was disbanded, integrating them with the male soldiers finally. Just a little background on women in the Marines. This reserve was formed in 1943. They first saw deployment in 1950 in Korea, where just shy of 2,800 women were sent, but they weren't put in combat in Korea. They were mostly given clerical work and stuff like that. It wasn't until 1967 when Master Sergeant Barbara Dulitsky became the first female Marine to see combat, and she was actually put on the lines. And then in 1977, everybody was finally integrated. Combat became a more prevalent thing for women, and roughly now I think 9% of all Marines are ladies. So a little bit of girl power. June 30th, 1977, the integration of the genders in the Marines.
Wait. I was in the Marines from 2003 to 2007. There were no female grunts in the Marines during those 4 years.
Dang, called out.
Isn't the Marines the hardest to get into? And on top of that, it's only 9% of that.
Yeah.
Wait, but real question, was there any chocolate Nestle Crunch ice cream?
Yes.
In the Marine Corps? Not usually.
We have questions.
Oh.
All right, guys.
I mean, I gotta go with chocolate.
Women Marines.
Oh man, I knew this was gonna come down to me.
He was like, he's whispering in the back, going, "Chocolate."
Either he likes chocolate or he's sexist.
See, that's
Go with the
But
chocolate.
it's a triangle.
Just think
He likes chocolate. He hates women.
Females
and
like
loves
chocolate too.
Think about the vaginas.
Yeah, but you poke a hole in the ice cream.
We're not fucking our ice cream.
You're talking about vagina.
I don't want to betray two things that I enjoy.
Can I get? Oh.
Just think about the chocolatey crunch when you
Think
bite
about the
into
pussy
ice
when you
cream.
open it.
Oh my god.
Which can you lick longer?
Okay.
Hold
all right.
on. Which one makes you come?
All right, that's fair. I'm gonna base this off of which one you can lick longer. I'm gonna go with the Marines.
All right, Joe Finley, it means you pick up another 2 points and you win this game. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I want to thank our judges from the band Rivals. You guys are awesome, man. Thank you.
Hey, let me ask you before you guys are getting out of here, because you brought up a lot of fun stuff like while we were doing that, and we always ask this, like for years we asked bands that came on here, you know, what's the craziest thing that happened on tour, and everyone gave us these bullshit vanilla answers for the longest time. Then Krista Makes from Less Than Jake came on and dropped like the H-bomb with this S&M nude wax bar, like crazy story. What's the craziest thing that happened on the road with you guys?
Took acid.
We have so many.
Aside from watching Tombstone on repeat while you're
Someone
high.
left meat in our cooler in our van that got work on it for like a week and a half, and literally all we had was dead flesh smell in our van for weeks.
I got told to get into the back of the line on my own merch table.
My fan. And then a different girl proceeded to ask him to take a photo of her with the band.
Same night.
Mickey had sex in the middle of the ocean.
Nice. How did that happen? Did you have ice cream?
Trailer.
Yeah.
Trailer jobs.
Trailer
jobs.
Oh, Mickey's gotten a hand job with the trailer multiple times.
Wait, all right. We need.
He's like,
what's the details on this?
Context for everything.
Okay, which one?
Pick a story. Pick one and give us the
I kind of
context
like
to
this
it.
lightning round. It's awesome.
I know. There's like 9 of them. I don't even know which one to choose.
I'm trying to think of others. I'm trying to think of like what. There's so many stories.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to
Kill the
picture
child
how
on
he
a
had
dare.
sex
Yeah,
in
one
the
of our
water.
first
Like,
stories-
was that off the cruise ship? Did you jump in the
Wait, what?
water?
Wait, what?
Like, what? You just said he had sex in the water. Like, was that
Yeah,
during
we were
that
in the boat.
cruise?
We were on the boat, and I kept trying to get in. He's like, "What?"
There was a sock on the door.
But it wasn't like, I don't know. I was drunk.
That's cool.
Got it? Oh yeah, one of our first tours, I got roofied.
Jesus.
Yeah, we've had some crazy stuff happens on tour.
Are you a park ranger named Sullivan?
What else is on? Like, there's like a
things that
bunch.
happen on tour.
Oh my God. So this one time we were in Dallas, Texas, and our old guitar player and our like touring drummer at the time were in the van, and they had this girl in there. And mind you, the van's windows are completely clear. They're not tinted at all. They're not tinted. And we're on the hot street in Dallas. There's people walking
This is
by.
good times, by the way.
Yeah, hold on. And I look over and I'm seeing them all moving around. I was like, what's going on in there? So I walked over and I opened the van door, and this chick has full titties out. Big, huge, dude, like titties. I was like, good for you. And then she had the attitude to tell me to get out of my van. And I was like, I
Get to
own
the
this.
back of the
You
line.
Get out of my van. Then I just closed the door and I walked.
Yeah, it was a Tinder date of our drummer and
Ended up showing her tits to the drummer and our guitar player.
not a drummer now.
Oh yeah, our drummer. Yeah.
That's pretty. That kind of reminds me of that the Us Festival story we heard about David Lee Roth getting head while he was talking to some dude through the window,
Yeah.
and he was like,
Yeah.
like nothing was going on, and he's like, "What's going?" Like he couldn't even tell, and
He wouldn't
David was like,
accomplish-
he was like, "Come on in," and he like comes in, and sure enough, that's what's going on. But, like, he's going on like, "Hey, well, you know."
He wouldn't
Definitely.
accomplish anything though if he didn't
can't
like
think of any.
multitask during blowjobs.
Which one can you like longer?
Interestingly, he was eating a Nestle Crunch bar while getting
He's
head.
like, yeah, come on in.
Yeah, he was having a conversation, eating the bar.
There's some other ones.
Listen,
oh God.
We
What
got
do
in
you
the
guys
chat.
think about it?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go
I
ahead,
said we
John.
have in the chat, somebody says, whoa, that's fresh marketing and publicity. Says, definitely ask Mickett about Lucy Lawless. I don't know if I missed that because I changed the battery in my
Oh,
headset.
God.
Who's that?
Lucy Lawless played Xena the Warrior Princess.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Mickett almost had sex.
What?
Let's not push it that far.
He gets the most pussy in this
All
band.
right, all right.
1000% gets the most pussy in this band. So if you're a woman watching this,
Okay.
It's the beard.
So I was at a birthday party, and I guess the family had known Lucy Lawless. She shows up, and she gets somehow sat next to me. She gets a little tipsy, right? And she's like, "Yo, you're kind of cute." And she's like, "Oh, Xena." I don't. One of the stories I wussed out, unfortunately. But
Oh,
who was hitting on me at the time? Ish.
I think at that point, like, you're not fucking her. She's fucking you. This is Xena the
yeah,
Warrior.
yeah. Oh, for
It's
sure.
like,
like, and I don't know if you know this, but Big Kid's 5'8", okay?
She's tall too. She's pretty
rough.
tall, right?
bro, he's getting rid.
He's getting ridded, okay?
You kind of have that thing. Have you ever seen the movie Airheads before?
Oh yeah, great movie.
You're doing the quiet cool, like Adam Sandler with the cap on. Like Xena was asking you, like, what are you thinking about right now? And you're like, swimming pools. Listen, I know your the album just came out, and well, not just came out. What month did it come out? It came out a little bit ago.
March.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I've had it on my Spotify for a while. And then the weird thing is, I was listening to like Dirty Heads radio one day, and it popped up on that, and it was "Sad Looks Pretty on Me," and I was like,
What
You're
a
probably
song
like, what
for
is
the
this shit?
playlist.
And you're
Yeah.
like, wait a second.
"No, I actually like the song, but I was like, this is weird because it doesn't really go." So
No, yeah.
I clicked over the album, and I figured the rest of your album would be like that track, and every track is almost like completely different, but they're all awesome. And here's like, it's been years that I've listened to an entire album where I've liked every song in the album, and I haven't felt that there was filler on it. And I'm not just throwing that out because you're on, because we have bands on all the time, and I don't say that, but seriously, like, I haven't listened to an album in a very long time where I was like, every song, and the next one came on, and I was like, holy shit, I'm hooked already. And I listened again. If I had to open up my Spotify right now, I don't know if, can you do this on Spotify? Can you see what your top played album of the year is before
I
they
think
send
that's
it
only,
out?
like when they allow
It's
you
just
to
at the
do
end of the
that.
year. I guarantee
Yeah.
at the end of the year, that album will be number one on my list. It's insane. And it was all because I was listening to a Dirty Heads playlist, and you guys came up.
That's
But-
so random.
It
But I
seriously,
love
it is.
Now from here on, for the rest of the year, you're literally going to bed playing our album.
I don't even think like at this
'Cause
point
if
I don't even
not,
think
you're
I
a liar.
need to. I've listened to it a lot. Like almost every time I'm in the car, I have it on. It just automatically comes on, but I don't turn it off. But like, how did you guys get like all
You
these?
said turn it off.
How do you guys get all these different like genre mix? Like for every song, feels like a lot different. Not a lot.
We listen to a lot
Yeah.
of different things.
We all listen to very different styles of music. I'm really pop, like pop, but I like growing up. I listened to a lot of like The Used, MXPX, Offspring. I grew up, freaking System of a Down. Like so, all of us. But right now I listen to mainly pop. But like, what?
I'm
What
sorry,
are you laughing
I was
about?
laughing because when you said
I just hear him back here.
You said because you said you listen to pop, and then you said System of a Down. Is that why?
Go down.
I imagine because you were saying that you listen to us all the time. I imagine when you're driving and you're listening to it, you're like, "Yeah, sad looks good on me." But then, like outside the window, and people pull up, you're like, "Sad looks good on me."
We've had this conversation on the show before. Like, I don't even care. Like, I'm 43 now. Like, if I'm driving down the road and fucking Wham is on my radio, I don't even care. I'll crank that shit. I'll be like, "Wake me up." Yeah. Like, I don't give a shit.
Look at the guy next to you.
And actually, I don't know if you guys have seen a picture of Boy George lately. He looks like George Michael now, which is fucking bizarre because he never did before.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, because
Like, so-
George Michael was Man George.
I'm kind of wondering if he's not actually dead. Conspiracy that could be on
shit.
Encounters, bro.
There it is. I'll host it. Let's start it, dude.
So you mentioned MXPX there. I don't know. Are you allowed to talk about this?
I don't know. I don't think so. So we're gonna
Okay,
skip
so
it.
we'll skip that
I think
question.
Steph will probably say it, a yes or no in the chat. So
All right, if somebody says it, I'll bring it back
You
up.
see it, then we'll talk
I'm
about it.
keeping an eye.
What's
Yeah,
what's like the most annoying comparison you guys get?
Paramore.
Really?
Yes, all the time.
If it's not Paramore, it's Evanescence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the only two bands that people know apparently, and they just you're
We've
Paramore,
come to
right?
the conclusion that it's like those are the only two
And then
female-fronted
if
bands.
You guys
someone's
are
a
No
little
Doubt.
older, if someone's like a little older, sometimes I've got No Doubt a couple times. Pretty much just if you have a vagina, you are this band that is popular.
We all sound alike if you're a girl, essentially.
Yeah.
I would have said In This Moment, not Paramore.
Yeah, we've gotten
We've
that.
gotten that too. Yeah.
I
was
was
just saying,
waiting
yeah,
for
we
you to
got
bring
that
that one up.
What-
I was
like,
thinking
how does
Boys
that
to Men.
I don't know if you've
How does
heard
that
of
conversation go? Like if somebody brings that up
I
to
just
you,
felt,
like,
thank you. Like, I've had
that's so
I've
fake.
had people who come up to me and they're like, I know this might be a little offensive, but you guys
the
are Paramore. And I'm like, okay. yeah.
Sweet.
They always come up to me and they're like, "Yo, bro, do you know who you sound like?" And I'm like, "No idea. You should tell me." And they're like, "Paramore."
Oh,
No, I just
shocker.
literally answer them, and this is just like, you know who you sound like?
Paramore.
They're like, yeah,
Oh
dude.
my God.
Like it's crazy. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, yeah.
Well, and the one who said that I don't mean this to be insulting. You know, there's no rule that we have to talk. Like,
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't really take offense to it per se. I just think that us as an artist, and as you said, our album is very, very different. We try to not do what everyone else is doing. We just kind of do our own thing, and people like it or they don't. And if you think we sound like Paramore, then cool. If you think we sound like In This Moment, cool. Whatever, man. As long as you like it, I guess.
we got the message from Publicity in the chat. She said, "Yes, ha ha ha. You can sneak it here, exclusive to this only."
Ooh.
Whoa.
I
As
did
far
a
as
feature
you-
with MXPX, you bitches. It's like the coolest feature I've ever done. I have this specific memory. Growing up, my brother and I made a bird playlist for our family boat for that summer, and MXPX was on it. So when I got the offer, I was like, yes! I was like, "Let's
I
go."
remember like one summer in high school, just
Yeah.
I don't remember what album it was, but repeat like
Yeah.
MXPX.
Nice.
So it was really cool to even be considered, let alone be chosen. So I'm hyped.
That's awesome.
Congrats.
That's freaking awesome. Like,
Thanks.
and you know what else is awesome is that you completely dated yourself by saying that you burned a CD.
I
to bring out a vote.
was 94.
But says
Maybe
the
you're
group of
not as young
oldies
as you say.
Yeah. So this one time I burned a floppy disk. No, I've never done
Okay,
that.
you don't burn a floppy disk. You just
Whatever.
write shit to the
Yeah.
floppy
Pretty much
disk.
I was gonna say
All
we're
right,
the
you're young
we're the
again.
oldies. We're the
You wanna
oldies who
take
put
a
tape
look at
over the
my
little
eight-track
nub on a
tape
cassette.
collection in the back, or
I'd love that.
What did
Hi-
you say?
How'd you guys hook up as a band? I know this is completely off, but how'd you guys hook up as a band if you all have different styles and everything?
So
it's so true.
you're like,
Yeah, our drummer has this habit
He
of
does
when
this?
he's in like interviews, he does this a lot.
like
We call it
Josh,
graphic now.
Yeah, so-
back away. So we met up. Micken and I have known each other for pretty much half my life now.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
literally. We met when I was 13. He was 95.
Wow.
No, we met at being in LA, they had these like clubs that they're all ages. And we met there one time. We all had a bunch of mutual friends. He's not even that much older than me.
Yeah, I'm really not that much older.
6 years?
How old are you?
27?
What? Who let you live that long? What the hell?
27. I don't know. This might be my last year. There's statistics. And yeah, I went
Don't
on.
get struck by lightning.
I went on. Sorry, I went on tour with his old band called The Collected. I was 17 years old. He had my mom sign a waiver, so if I died, it wasn't his fault. Because he's a
That
businessman.
does sound like you, literally. Like,
My mom looked at him.
Good
like,
idea.
Stupid.
Sounds like Steven Tyler.
And a few years later, he was like, "Yeah, I don't want to do metalcore anymore. I'm trying to do like something else." And then he joined another
Dude,
metalcore
you sound
band.
great. Yeah, that's how I sound.
I was gonna say spot on.
So then so Seb here, we played shows with his ex-girlfriend at the time, and we had just let go of our bass player, who he was at the show when we
Yeah,
left.
like
left,
super awkward.
because
Like,
we never even talked. Anyway, so
I was in the band meeting him, not knowing that, or him knowing that he doesn't know that he is getting kicked
kicked
out.
out.
Oh,
It's super
So,
awkward.
Yeah,
Super
we had a
awkward.
really weird relationship.
Yeah. And so Seb just pretty much commented on our post about needing a bass player with the little girl emoji, like this, and yeah, now he's our bass player. And then Josh,
He
He was like-
lingers. He lingered. He lingered around enough to where we're like,
all right.
all right.
just give him
Uh,
a job.
That's called lurking, and it's
he was
bad
like our touring
etiquette.
drummer.
Yeah,
He was our-
thank you.
He was our touring drummer for like a long time, and he was like on and off, and he was in like 29 projects, and in the Augments project, that was like one of them. There was a
Yeah.
few of them.
He's in too many bands.
Too many bands. And that was kind of a reason we were always like, no, we don't want him. He's got too much going on. And then we started touring, and he started coming along on our tours and stuff. And eventually we were at a boba spot. We were like, Josh, we got to talk to you about something. It's really,
Oh, that was great.
it's really important. We just-
scared the shit out
yeah,
of me.
he was like, fuck. We're like, we just wanted to let you know that you are now part of Rivals. And he goes, ah! And started crying. It was really great.
But we made him quit every other single band. So-
Yeah, we didn't make him. It just,
Yeah, we gave him the ultimatum. We're like,
did.
either you join us and quit everything, or
did we do that?
I mean, it wasn't as harsh, but it was like,
I
no,
don't
it was.
remember that.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They,
fuck
they
that.
said it nice, but that's what it was.
Well, anyways, so
Wait, so the guy that got kicked out, that was the guy that had the girl with the was it
No.
size E? You said no.
Different- different man.
Oh yeah, no,
no,
different one, yeah.
different.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, is that like initiation?
But
You're like, well,
to go
first
back to
thing,
that kicking out the bass thing, it was kind of like I was like the mistress, like that Mickey was gonna say that they were cheating on. It's like, I know, and you don't know that I know.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah, we used to have another guitar player, and it ended up not working out. But the drummer who was on tour with us at the time and that guitar player were the Titty Band Girl situation.
I was in there. What are you talking about?
I wasn't there.
I was the one that admitted-
You were in there?
Yeah.
You were in
Well, it really
Yeah,
doesn't
because I
matter. By the
fucking
sounds of it, there's
Okay,
enough
so
to go
how it
around.
started is I totally 1,000,000%
The whole
was
band
joking.
would have a piece of that.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
If there was an E, like there's room
Yeah.
for everybody.
They were big titties.
Yeah, I mean,
I've never seen a pair of titties that big.
I probably have, but like that, it's
Yeah.
pretty rare.
Can I
It's
tell
pretty
you how depressing it is when we have a band on and they have all these killer stories and we're just a couple of old podcasters who just
I know that's why I like listening to
You're like,
what
I
was your
touched titties
story?
once.
it. Yeah,
Oh, what
just
about
one
the
time
too,
about
just the once.
party. I got to touch a titty at some
Oh.
party.
36
You guys ever
years
heard-
ago.
You guys ever
Or
heard of
Sausage Castle, yeah.
Have you ever heard of the Sausage Castle?
No,
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
is
right.
this?
So we got lucky enough to go there. We spent a night there. I have a scar.
The most crazy
From the Sausage
awkward,
Castle?
weird night as possible.
What'd you say?
You got a scar from the Sausage Castle.
Yeah, but like, okay, but not for a reason you probably
Well,
are
for
thinking.
context purposes, real quick, the sausage party is think of a millennial version
Sausage
of
Castle.
a sausage
That's a
castle.
movie.
Goddamn, sausage castle. Just think of the sausage castle as a millennial version of the Playboy Mansion.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
It was thoughty.
Yeah, super thoughty, ratchet.
Anyways, I have a
Not
scar on my
classy
knee.
like Hef.
Yeah. I have a
Okay.
scar on my knee because at the front of the sausage castle, the stairs go down like this. So like the front door's here and they go like this. There's pitch black outside and I was hammered, like beyond. I was like, and my friend was behind me and I was like, oh, I need to run to the van to grab something. And so I just walked out. But the stairs go like this.
Oh,
my
no.
God.
I just like 5 feet. I did. I broke a beer and then I literally have got like a hole like this big of a scar and it was just gushing blood down my knee.
All I'm
Yeah, but,
picturing like a Scooby-Doo scene where like he runs off of something and
Yes.
he realizes
pretty
that
much.
he's off the ledge and falls.
Yeah.
More context to that place.
touched
Like
the
like
titty.
Post Malone's been there. Every like famous people go and hang out all the time too. It's Mike Busey's place, which if I remember correctly, I think he helped create Jackass or something like that. I don't know the lore totally, but essentially a big part of their income is they had like before OnlyFans was an actual thing. It was like a private Snapchat that people would, subscribe to and they'd provide
content.
content.
Oh my God, remember when we
Sexual and
walked
not,
in?
I'm getting to that. Sexual and non-sexual.
Oh, this is getting good.
things.
Go for it.
So we go in and one of our friends, she opens the door and she's like, do you guys want to see something crazy? And we're like, oh fuck yeah, let's go. So we walk out into the backyard and there's this big fat clown, like clown makeup and everything, just t-shirt off, singing with a guitar, and right next to him is this girl squatting down playing with herself with a chicken head, like acting like a chicken but playing with her and herself. And we're just like, what the fuck? And then we come back out a little later, same thing's happening, only now she's doggy style and there's a dude with a scroll. Yeah, and he's just singing about having sex and I'm just like, what is happening right now? Like I don't understand this.
This place is crazy.
Yeah, and then like where we went to bed, it's like a master closet, master.
It's like bigger than the room we're in right now, which I guess you can't see. So
Yeah,
it's
like
not terrible.
it's essentially 2 rooms put together, and that's just a closet. But they had like bunk beds where people would stay, and we were staying with some strangers too. I think there were a couple, but did porn stuff obviously, and they started just having sex completely
In
like.
front of all of us.
Everyone's awake, talking and
They're just
everything,
like,
just didn't care, like full blown, like not give a shit.
Oh, cute.
And so we're laughing after they finish and stuff. And this guy up top, he just goes, man, your tits are so nice. And I was like, I want to feel tits. And she goes, you can feel them.
This is Roadhouse?
Yeah, you can see my hand come.
Joe's like,
what
what's
is
the
happening?
address?
Craziest
of
day
this?
ever. Yeah,
So
that's
you-
the sausage castle
It's
for
really
you.
fun, yeah.
You dared feel another woman's breasts immediately after she finished having sex with somebody else?
Yes.
Hell
That sounds
yeah,
a little
brother.
risky
This is
there.
This was yeah.
Yeah, this
What
is
do you mean?
during
It's just
Yeah, no,
it's
this
only
is during.
sweat.
Oh, maybe.
You don't know how he finished. You know, you never know.
Well, they're on bunk beds, man.
It is come back. Like,
This was- And this is when moist towelettes become the hot product.
This is where COVID came in handy because then everyone was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I
"Hey,
got
hand
sick after
sanitizer."
that, but,
All right, well, we'll let you guys get going. Those are amazing stories. Thank you very much for coming on. Good luck with the album. And are you guys doing anything? Are you going on tour or doing anything this summer?
Yeah, not this summer, but fall, spring. Yeah, we haven't announced anything yet.
Oh, okay. All right. So where should people go to find you and all that stuff before you go?
Yes, all of our sites are We Are Rivals. We are RVLS. It's Rivals without the vowels. Wait, flip it and reverse. It's somewhere, I think, right here.
I'm too old. I can't read.
We Are Rivals. Go check us out. Our new album sound looks pretty yummy. It's got tons of different genres from left to right and up to down, and like Italian. I always call food genres. Sorry, I realized nobody knows the context of that joke. But yeah, check it out. I hope you guys like it.
I didn't even get that.
Yeah,
I just like went straight over my head.
Whatever works.
But
seriously,
we also
thanks
do
again.
have a exclusive, non-exclusive Patreon
Patreon.
where we post behind the scenes material, private stuff. You get access to everything 24 hours before actual release,
You get free
and
gifts
gifts and
we do
many
send
other
gifts.
things.
and beard hairs.
Tour, like a tour of the Sausage Palace is on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
I was gonna
wait,
say-
did you say OnlyFans or Patreon? I'm confused.
No,
now.
it's
Only
yeah.
Patreon.
Only Patreon. Okay.
Yeah. If their stories are any indication, you want to see the behind the scenes.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
sounds like you want to see it.
We need to post.
Thanks
one.
again. Good luck with the album. Good luck with your tour. Maybe I'll see you guys this fall.
Yes,
This
thank you
fall.
so much.
Thank you.
All right, take care, guys. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
All right, Mark.
Am I supposed to hang up?
All right, Duelers. So unfortunately, we're going to have to end this episode right here. But don't worry. If you've missed an episode, you can always go back and check out our entire catalog over at duelingdecades.com. Now, if you're watching along with us on YouTube, thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe to the show, like the episode, and then hit the little notifications bell. That'll help our episode get shown to more and more people and help Dueling Decades grow. So, Joe,
On TV.
Oh, yes. I'll get there. All right, Man Crush. Since you brought it up, why don't you tell all of our listeners about the breaking news we have about Pod TV?
All right, so we just signed on. There's a new app that's out there. It's called Pod TV, and I believe their website is podtv.live, but they're on all the markets, Android, Apple. It's on your Roku TV, Fire Stick, Apple TV, whatever you got. So you can watch us on television. They have like a lineup of a bunch of shows. It's like you're watching actual television, but that's podtv.live. And I think we already have a couple episodes on there. I think Joe's been flashing up the logo on the stream, so check that out.
And Joe, why don't you give everybody a sneak peek of what you got coming up on Miscast Commentary?
Oh, we're having a lot of fun right now. We're in our summer of sequels. We just had Back to the Future 2 and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey coming up. We got Best of the Best 2, Terminator 2, a lot of 2s, Temple of Doom coming out. And we are in the planning stages. We're really hoping we're going to be able to do it this summer, a 24-hour stream of all canon movie commentaries. So
Wow.
we're trying to, we've nailed down a lineup. We're trying to nail down a date, and then we're going to nail down some guests. I'm hoping to do it by late July, early August.
Nice. Well, definitely look forward to watching and listening to that. All right, Duelers. Well, we're going to leave you right here. Thanks a lot for watching along with us. We're going to bid you a peace, love, light, and a joy. Have a grateful week, everyone.
Stop. See it.
Recording stopped.
There it is.
It's so loud. All right. Bye, everybody on the stream.